end of March, March 25th, we're doing an employment law seminar.
I'm excited about doing this program because it shows how this structure can work for any type of case there is. You just let us know what the rules are and we can structure it.
In 2019, Lori Walker, Justin Walker, and Jared Felice tried a whistleblower wrongful termination case and won over $4 million. These guys are from San Diego. They work in San Diego, and Kyle did a program down there, and they came up to him afterwards and they were like, all right, whatever you're talking about, we're in, we need your help. I tried a few cases before this. They'd won some good money. They'd had some good results. I think they'd won another 7-figure verdict. So Kyle calls me and is like, Chuck, you want to do this with me? Let's go out to San Diego. So we went out there for 3 or 4 days, I think, in San Diego. Kyle and I took them through the structure, and they went out and got over $4 million on the verdict. Their plaintiff, it was her best job ever. Like, she was making, I think, $60,000 a year more than she had ever made in her life. She'd only worked there for a few months when this all happened. One of the arguments from the defense was that she was never going to make this amount of money again. Not a terrible argument.
For me, structuring employment cases is one of the more pleasant challenges, I would say, because a lot of times they go on for years, right? And there's like a lot of things that happen. So weeding out what's important and then knowing how to present live, like on a timeline, on a continuum that's dynamic, that doesn't lose people in these nuances of dates and paper shuffles. It's really fascinating. And I think like you said, Kyle is so good at the presentation and the persuasion skills themselves. It would be fun. I've never structured a employment case with him, but it would be fun to watch that.
Well, one of the main issues about employment cases is it deals with our livelihood. We are taught that to put good effort, to put an honest day's worth of work for an honest day worth of pay. And in America, we do put an honest day worth. At least we have the intention as a worker to go in and give it our best to the employer, because they are ensuring our livelihood. And against that context, imagine just that sense of how much we trust someone or this company or this boss with our livelihood and our goodwill to actually go in there, if in fact we are the kind of employee, how it immediately complies with a trusted relationship. We're trusting these people with our ability to have a livelihood. And against that background, what they do, that it is so violative of our trust, is what employment cases are all about.
So let's talk about the program. Justin's wife will be there, their trial team, from their perspective, what the case was about when we first got there or before they brought us in, and then kind of how the case changed, and then their experience in trial. You talk about some of the presentation skills. You and Ilya talk about witness prep and what we call testimony prep. Witness prep is misleading because it gets people to focus too much on the witness, when what we're really doing, prep the testimony. You got to prep the lawyer as much or more as the witness, so that there's a teamwork that goes on between the two of them. And then we're going to have Alejandro kind of guide us intricate details of how the structure works in relation to employment cases, but really with all kinds of cases, how it can be used to take, the challenge with employment cases is there's this huge record, right? You've got all these depositions and all of these witness statements and HR and whatever, and you've got to condense that into a coherent message. And that happens on a bunch of different cases, not just employment cases, like civil rights cases, medical malpractice cases, trucking cases. We're going to be focusing on employment, but we're also going to be talking about how those ideas that we talk about in relation to employment apply to other cases.
I think this program is especially interesting because it was a different area of law for me, but it just showed how universal the structure is. The attorneys were able to stress what was the important evidence we needed to get in from that, we were able to break down what evidence and how he needed to structure it. So what it showed me was this structure works on every single case there is. But it's the same stuff. It's the same excuses. It's broken down in the same ways. And we went from not knowing anything about this case to this finished product that summed it up all so simply that it was easy to understand for me afterwards. I mean, I knew exactly what the issues were and how to win the case.
Flipping the case on its head and attacking the defense and going after their bad actions, it made the jury see what was really going on here.